Good morning, dear students. How are you all doing today? I wish that you are all doing well and safe at home. Welcome to ABN and PRR College online classes for BCom BSc first year and second semester students. Today I am going to deal subject English, your textbook, from your textbook, namely Skills Enrich 2. This course is prescribed for you, a course in reading and writing skills. To develop your writing and reading skills, a textbook is prescribed for you, and from this textbook, first unit, I am going to deal with first lesson on avoiding foolish opinions, written by Bertrand Russell, a British writer, poet who lived 98 years and contributed a lot to his credits. What is this lesson? What are you going to learn from this lesson? Bertrand Russell, observed the society over a period of time, and he wants to give an advice to the society out of his experience, and he wrote a piece of writing. This is called a prose piece, namely on avoiding foolish opinions. Foolish opinions are nothing but mental blocks. Following foolish opinions is nothing but stupidity in his view. So when he observed the society, he found many, even today also, we have been following such foolish opinions, passed on from generation to generation. They are nothing but myths. So I wish that by the end of this lesson, all of you will understand what are these foolish opinions, how to avoid these foolish opinions, and how to develop critical thinking skills. The purpose of writing this essay is to avoid your stupidity or foolish opinions and develop critical skills. I wish that the purpose will be served by the end of this lesson. Come to the lesson on avoiding foolish opinions, written by Bertrand Russell. Here in the text itself, warm-up session is given. What is warm-up sessions? If you go to the text, number 1, he is asking some questions here. Some 5 questions are given here from the text itself. I quote, how do you react in the following situations? Your grandma tells you not to apply for a job on some day because it's a no moon day. Your grandmother tells you this is not a good day, don't apply for a job. In fact, this is the statement made by your grandma. If she says, what will be your reaction? What will you do? If it is the last date for applying a job, what is your situation? Number 2, your friend argues with you that India is not the second largest country in terms of population. As you all know, we know that India is the second largest populated country in the world. But your friend says, no, India is not the second largest populated country. What will be your reaction to this question? Second question, would you like to avoid committing mistakes? Why? Have you ever behaved stupidly? When? What are dogmatic beliefs? Do you know anybody who has dogmatic beliefs? Talk about his or her beliefs. How can you critical thinking skills help us in avoiding foolish opinions? How can critical thinking skills help us in avoiding foolish opinions? This is the conclusion you are going to get out of this lesson. Critical thinking skills. In fact, as I remember, one poet, Matthew Arnold, also made a statement in his literary criticism book. Much learning deadens creative faculty and develops critical faculty. It means that if your knowledge goes on increasing, that stops at a moment and develops your critical faculty. Much learning stops creative faculty and develops critical faculty. That is the meaning of that statement made by Matthew Arnold. Here also, Bertrand Russell made such a statement. How can critical thinking skills help us in avoiding foolish opinions? How best you can develop your critical thinking skills to avoid these foolish and stupid opinions made by our ancestors, grand old parents. Without evidence. What are the foolish opinions? You make some statement without evidence, without any proof. Today is not good day because no reason. This kind of foolish opinions on many opinions we come across. Here he also quoted his experience. He started with Aristotle's statement also. We come to the lesson, come next. Here, look at here. We would all like to avoid folly, wouldn't we? Yes, we would. We don't want to do any mistakes. Avoiding stupidity is easier than seeking brilliance. Beautiful statement, my dear friends. Look at this statement. Avoiding stupidity is easier than seeking brilliance. Simple. Here you look at this option. Two options are there. Which one? Avoiding stupidity. Is it easier or seeking brilliance? Seeking brilliance is a very tough job, task. Overnight you cannot become a brilliant student. You need lot of efforts to get brilliance if you want to become a genius. But other option is also there. Just simply avoiding foolish opinions is easier than seeking brilliance. It doesn't take a genius. Avoiding stupidity doesn't take a genius. You need not be a genius to avoid foolish opinions. Next, only a few simple ideas are given here. He suggested that simple ideas are suggested here. Philosopher Bertrand Russell, who was born in 1872 and died in 1970, offers some advice which will not keep us from all error, all mistakes overnight, but will help us navigate away from obvious errors, mistakes. Because of these mental blocks, foolish opinions, we make many mistakes. If we follow his advice or advices, we can simply avoid this stupidity or foolish opinions. Next, come to this. In fact, this text is given for you to develop your reading skills. Since it is online classes, I cannot expect reading from you. So, on behalf of students, I am reading the text. And you also, if it is possible, you please practice reading. You know, in reading skills, why do we read the textbook? With the two purposes. You can develop two skills, skimming and scanning. I wish that you learn what is a skimming, what is scanning in our first semester. Our teachers, I think, explain to you. Otherwise, I will also explain, don't worry. Reading skills, the purpose of reading skill is to develop your skimming and scanning skills. You have to follow that two skills. Yes, on avoiding foolish opinions via the basic writings of Bertrand Russell, you can avoid foolish opinions. I come to the text. Please look at here. I try to explain to you line by line, or some difficult words are also I highlighted with the red color, red in color. Look at them. The very beginning sentence, if the matter is one that can be settled by observation, make the observation yourself. Make the observation yourself. You practice observation yourself so that you can settle any issue or any matter if you come across. If the matter is one that can be settled by observation, conditional clause is given. If the matter is one that can be settled by observation, better you settle down the matter just by observation itself. Observation, he is talking about observation. What is this matter? If you refer the dictionary, you will get many meanings, maybe more than 2-3 meanings. What is this matter? If the matter may be the issue, the subject, the problem, or business matter, or issue, or question, whatever the question may be, or the situation. If the situation is one that can be settled by observation, please do make it by observation itself. Settle down the situation by observation itself. The beginning statement. If you observation plays a vital role in settle down many issues, many problems, many subjects, many issues, many questions, many situations. So he is talking about observation. I wish that you are following this first statement. If the matter is one that can be settled by observation, make the observation yourself. Practice yourself. Observation. Around you, in and around you, wherever you live, there might be issues, there might be situations or difficult situations. Those situations can be settled down by observation itself. Otherwise, unnecessarily we follow foolish opinions without observation, without evidence, without proof. If you make any statement, that cannot be the knowledge. Here one example is quoting, Aristotle could have avoided the mistake of thinking that women have fewer teeth than men by the simple device of asking Mrs. Aristotle to keep her mouth open while he counted. He is citing one example from Aristotle. Aristotle made a statement that women, especially women, they have very few teeth or lesser teeth than men. How could he make such a statement? Has he observed? No. In fact, the science says men or women are having the same structure, the pattern of teeth. Maybe slight variations, but the number could be the same. Without observation, Aristotle made such a big statement. Aristotle, you know who is Aristotle? Famous philosopher, world famous philosopher. You know Socrates? Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, in order. Aristotle's guru or master, teacher is Plato. Plato's guru is Socrates. Greek philosophers, these are all Greek philosophers. Even such a famous Greek philosopher made such a statement, women, especially women, have less teeth than men. That's why here Bertrand Russell says that if he could have solved this problem just by observing his wife when she opened her mouth. He could have stopped. He could have not made such a statement that women have a fewer teeth than men. So, lack of observation, this mistake, this foolish opinion has been carried out all the ages. I hope that you understand this statement. He did not do so because he thought he knew. Yes, everybody, it is the same problem. I thought that I knew everything. No, not at all. People, you will be under the impression that you know everyone, especially this generation who has been following this social media, digital media after the introduction of the science and technology. We are all under the impression that we know everything. Such a great poet, philosopher, Greek philosopher made such a statement. It is a foolish opinion. Science says that no, it is wrong. Even for that matter, Aristotle did not observe. He did not do because he thought he knew. That is the reason why he made such a statement. Come to the second paragraph. Thinking that you know when in fact you don't is a fatal mistake. Yes, continuation. Thinking that you know when in fact you don't know is a fatal mistake, to which we are all prone. To which we are all prone. Yes. Obviously, this is what we all do, the same mistake. We know that, we think that we know everything. In fact, the fact is that we don't know much in detail. We don't observe the things. Prone. What is the meaning of prone? I have given under this look at here. I have given meanings, whatever, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, near about 24 meanings are given. Prone, we are all liable, we are all inclined, vulnerable, we are all influenced by such mistakes, we are all liable to such mistakes. Look at this first meaning. So, I have given all the meanings which are marked with red ink, red in color. You can go through these meanings are also one after one. I believe myself that hedgehogs eat blackberries because I have been told that they do. Bertrand Russell, the poet, is continuing the same with a lot of evidences. What kind of mistakes we do, we follow, we are inclined, we are prone, we are all do the same mistake. By as you know, Aristotle did, thinking that you know when in fact you don't know is a fatal mistake, to which we are all prone. I believe myself that, even the poet also believed that hedgehogs, porcupine, hedgehogs means here porcupines. Look at the picture, I am giving porcupines and eat black beetles, because I have been told that they do. I have been told. He has been told by his grandparents, elders. But if I were writing a book on the habits of hedgehogs, I shouldn't commit myself until I had seen one enjoying this unappetizing diet. Aristotle, however, was less cautious. Same way, Aristotle was also less cautious. He didn't see, he didn't observe and made such a statement: women have fewer teeth than men. Ancient and medieval authors knew all about unicorns. You know the unicorns, horse-like. I will show you the pictures also. And salamanders. Not one of them thought it necessary to avoid dogmatic statements about them because he had never seen one of them. Ancient and medieval authors knew all about unicorns and salamanders. Yes, look at the images. Yes, this is hedgehogs. Hedgehogs, a North American porcupine. It is a North American porcupine. It eats black beetles, bugs, small insects or bugs in the earth. You look at this picture also. A lizard-like, a mythical lizard-like creature, salamanders. Salamanders are a lizard-like creature said to live in fire or to be even lizard-like amphibian with an elongated body and tail and short limbs. Look at this picture. Unicorn, you know very well, unicorns are very popular nowadays, using horse-like unicorn. Have you seen these things? In the medieval ages, others are also, they haven't seen none of them, but still they are writing about them like this. Yes, I repeat once again here. I believe myself that hedgehogs eat black beetles, black bugs, because I have been told that they eat. But if I were writing a book on the habits of hedgehogs, I shouldn't commit myself until I had seen one enjoying this unappetizing diet, undigested food, untasty, it is not delicious. Aristotle, however, was less cautious. Even Aristotle, such a great philosopher, was also less cautious when he made such a statement. He was not very cautious. Unconsciously he made such a statement without observation. Even ancient and medieval authors knew all about unicorns. They know about unicorns. I have shown you the picture. Salamanders. Not one of them thought it necessary to avoid dogmatism, statements about them, because he had never seen one of them. None of them have seen all these things. They are all statements without evidence or proof, but they have made such statements. Medieval authors and ancient authors. You need, science means, knowledge means you need proof and evidence. Without evidence and proof, you cannot make such statements. What here in this paragraph, you know, hedgehogs eat black beetles, none of them seen it. At the same time, unicorns are there, salamanders are there, none of them witnessed. What is this dogmatism? Laying down some rules or principles without verification, without evidence, without proof. Undeniable true. Lay down some principles with undeniable true. Such statements, dogmatic statements, there is no proper evidence for these statements. They are called dogmatic statements. Many matters, however, are less easily brought to the test of experience. Many matters are less easily brought to the test of experience. If you come across such statements, dogmatic statements, sorry.